The Beatles' George Harrison had no interest in playing the group's final performance in 1969. Harrison, the often overlooked songwriter behind Here Comes the Sun, Something, and While My Guitar Gently Weeps, voiced his concerns about a rooftop performance at the Abbey Road studio just a short while before the Fab Four headed upstairs for what would be their final performance together. Harrison's opposition to the performance was seen in the Get Back documentary from Peter Jackson, but it seems the legendary musician, who went on to form the Traveling Wilburys with Bob Dylan and Electric Light Orchestra's Jeff Lynne, was convinced to take part. His wavering on playing the Beatles' impromptu final show came just a short while after Harrison had briefly quit working with the band. A now infamous diary entry from the All Things Must Pass mastermind saw he had dropped out of the Fab Four. Growing tensions in the studio and frustrations around the making of Abbey Road and Let It Be saw Harrison suggest they put an advert in the New Musical Express to source another set of guitarists who could finish what he had written for the 1969 album. But he returned soon after and eventually agreed to a rooftop performance. An unconvinced Harrison can be seen in the clip of Get Back, where the Beatles guitarist said he would do it, but wanted to make it clear he did not want to be on the roof. He said, "You know, whatever, I'll do it if we've got to go on the roof. But I don't want to go on the roof." Of course, I don't want to go on the roof. His opinion soon changed when longtime friend and fellow bandmate Ringo Starr shared he would like to go on the roof and perform a show to unsuspecting members of the public, which took place on January 30th, 1969. It would mark the band's final performance together, though the Beatles were offered a few lucrative deals to reunite up until John Lennon's death in 1980. Ringo Starr, the band's drummer, shared the group were offered $50 million in 1976, the equivalent of £200 million today, to get back together for a one-off performance. It seemed a tempting deal for the Fab Four, but they eventually turned the offer down because of a dispute with the show's organizer, who had a rather unique opening act in mind for the show. Starr and fellow surviving Beatles member Paul McCartney briefly reunited at the Wings frontman's show in London late last year. But a full Beatles reunion never came to be after their breakup in 1970. While each of the Beatles members believed they would reform at some point and play some live shows, their offer of a reunion was prevented because the opening act was a man biting a shark.